Alright guys, we're back. If you thought we were just going to cover new Pokemon, false. We are going to be covering old favorites, and we're covering one of my old favorites, GRIMMSNARL, and I got my boy Justin with me.
Hey, what's going on everybody? Gym Leader Justin here. If there's a shout out for #1 best support Pokemon right now in the current pre-home meta Scarlet Violet, it's the boy. It's Dobby. Dobby, we have a couple sets here today talking about the GRIMMSNARL. We've used a couple of these sets actually on the channel quite recently. You can go check out, down in the description, you can check out the Jirachi VGC team as well as the Darth Kyrem video. Go check those out in both Series 12 and 13 respectively. And one of the Dobby sets that's on here today, one of the GRIMMSNARL sets with the screens with Prankster, is actually featured on both of those videos in different lights. So definitely go check that out. Like this dude is putting in work when there was 6 Ubers in the meta.
Exactly. So guys, before we get started, feel free to like, comment, subscribe. We really appreciate all of the love you guys have been showing on these guides in our last battle video with Palmont. It's been so awesome to see all the subscriptions, all the likes, all the comments. We love reading all of those.
He's great.
Yeah, we love
He's actually really good in game too, dude.
Yeah, it's kind of broken.
He's been putting a lot of work for me in the campaign.
So guys, let's get started. GRIMMSNARL, he is a dark and fairy type. He looks like a goblin. He's the bulk up Pokemon, interestingly. And he's got 2 abilities that are really, really good. He has a third, but it's trash. We have Prankster and Frisk. Most of the time...
nobody cares about Pickpocket.
Yeah, nobody cares about Pickpocket. Most of the time you're going to be running Prankster. There is a use for Frisk, and we will get into that. But Prankster, basically what this ability does is every status move, every non-damaging move, gets an increased priority, a +1 to its priority. So, things like Light Screen,
Thunderwave,
Reflect, Thunderwave, we can go on forever and ever, right?
Utility moves like Scary Face or Fake Tears.
Yeah.
That can reduce opponent's offense or speed. So, and now they're at a priority, so I go ahead of, opponent's move, especially in like a VGC format. This thing is just insane. He's just so good.
And like we said, he's a dark and fairy type, so that gives him weaknesses to Steel, Poison, and Fairy. And we will talk about a few Pokemon of those types and how we're going to handle them in some of our sets. But Justin, you ready to get onto these?
Yeah, dude. Let's talk about his stats real quick. Like, that's the first place we need to start. You mentioned his typing, which is amazing, right? He's got an F-tier type combo.
Right, he does.
It's really good. Being a dark type means that he's immune to other Prankster taunts or just Prankster in general, because dark types are immune to Prankster in not priority overall, just Prankster itself.
Good shout, buddy. Good shout.
So him being dark type means that he is immune to other GRIMMSNARLs.
Yep. And other Prankster users like Grafaiai, he's immune to those, or Sableye.
Sableye. Yeah, totally. So 95 base HP, that's like A+, S- territory.
Yeah.
That's a really good base HP stat.
Super solid.
120 attack, S tier.
That's really good, especially with that dual stab combination.
That's no joke. That is a legit physical attack stat. The 120, to put in perspective for people, that's Weavile. When Weavile has been running amok in 8th for reference. So coming in the 9th gen with 120, like that's a really lot to be at.
Yes.
For a tanky support, man. 65 and 75 for defenses, not the greatest, buddy. But with 95 HP and enough investment, he can surprise you.
Right, especially the fact that, he is neutral to a lot of attacking types, and he's got a couple like straight up immunities in Psychic.
Yes, the typing really helped with his defensive bulk. And then 60 speed, it is relevant. It is slower, but he's a tank. He's in that basically like that middle bowl of porridge, exactly where you would think a tank speed would be. He's right at flat 60. Yeah. The good thing to note is that in a Tailwind or Agility, regardless of what you use, but let's just say for, all intents and purposes, you're +2, like in a Tailwind, you're going to be outspeeding everything in the game.
Yep.
You still have enough speed to outspeed all of the main threats in the game. Just as long as they're not a Tailwind, obviously. And then 95 special attack is actually respectable.
Yeah, you'll never see special attacks. I've never once seen special attack in GRIMMSNARL. Have you? I've literally never seen it.
I have seen Dazzling Gleam before.
All right, fair enough.
I mean, it threw me off, but yeah. It's not. I wouldn't recommend it. Bro, let's check out some sets, yeah?
Yeah. So, the first one we're going to talk about, this is Mega Dobby. Obviously, Dobby from Harry Potter.
The Screens set. So this is the one that you can go check out that we used a lot in 8th Gen. This is the one that I used the most. The Super Bulk with screens, and you can go check that out, like I said, link in the description for both the Darth Kyurem and the Jirachi.
Yeah, so this one is all about defenses, and before, I guess we got the Light Clay, because that'll increase our screen turns from 5 to 8.
Yep.
Obviously, Reflect and Light Screen, you will take half damage from physical and special attacks, respectively. We got the Parting Shot, Prankster Parting Shot.
Yeah, so if this thing wasn't broken before 0, when he was literally in a meta of 6 Ubers, and he was still like one of the top used most Pokemon in the globe, now they gave him Prankster Parting Shot.
Right, in a meta where people can't Dynamax and increase their damage. So damage reduction is going to be
so powerful.
It's going to be really strong in this meta, in this game in general without Dynamax. And GRIMMSNARL is going to help you achieve damage reduction from every side because of Parting Shot, and combine that with Spirit Break, one of his former signature moves.
Exactly.
It's a fairy type physical move that decreases the opponent's special attack every single time, just like Mystical Fire.
Yeah, it's 100% chance to do that, and it's, what is that, a base 80 move? No, 75 fairy and physical.
Yeah.
It's really, really, really powerful, 100% accuracy. I want to note his stats real quick, buddy.
Yeah.
So we're running Impish, 156 physical, and 100 special for both defenses. The reason that we're doing it, you could run the spread a little bit differently, but this is the easiest way to achieve it in Gen 8 when we were making those pokes with the date switch mechanic. This was the easiest math to do to achieve the closest thing. So basically we're going to be at a level 100, it's 225 physical defense and 211 special defense. So basically as close as possible while still just being quick and easy in that format of breeding with how the math works, to have as close as we can to have a mixed wall.
Yeah, and it's very safe to say we were never disappointed by the results, especially after like a reflector light screen. You pretty much always lived like whatever was coming at you from that side.
Even in Dynamax formats, you'd live a hit.
Yeah.
And then max HP at base 95 is 394 HP at level 100.
Really, really good.
So for VGC players, we're going to be talking about 202 HP at level 50, 115 defense, and 108 special defense. So very, very competent as a mixed wall with this particular EV spread. And this is the EV spread for both this set and the next one.
Yes, so the beautiful thing about this set and the next one, which we will get into in 1 second, I just wanted to say that both of these sets are plug and play.
Absolutely.
Do you need screens? Rain Squad, Sun Squad, Trick Room, Hyper Offense, Stall, Tail, whatever it is, you can put this on your team confidently.
It doesn't matter the format, bro, too. 3v3s, VGC.
That's a good shout. The format, it doesn't matter. So that set and the next one, which I think we'll get into right now. Justin, you ready?
Yeah. So this set is actually the one that I've been using on Showdown Practice Simulator because obviously ranked for the ladder doesn't come out until December, and we don't even have our Pokemon made yet anyways, and home doesn't come out until the spring, so we're using Showdown to practice a lot of these sets. And one of the main squads that I've been using is to feature our old school favorite, the Goodra, the Sap Sipper combo that we've run on the channel before.
Absolutely.
And this exact set shows up, or one of the sets on this page shows up in that build.
So I like how you've added the Citrus Berry here. You know, like in the wake of losing the Light Clay and the screens, you've got a little more longevity. Maybe you take a hit coming in, but then, you know, that extra Citrus Berry HP could potentially get you another Parting Shot later on in the game, or another fake tears or another fake out.
Absolutely. So the big thing to note here is that, so again, it's basically the same set. Again, we're just trying to be like that mixed wall. You can specialize to one defense or the other, but he's really good at being a mixed wall. So let's just lean into it is kind of my thought process.
Yeah, and yeah, you said you nailed it perfectly on the head. He's so versatile that like, oh, I really need a special wall. Well, you put this guy on your team because he's got parting shot to cover his physical side, and then vice versa. Like
exactly, and then he has spirit break, which makes him more specially defensive because you're dropping their special attack. Yeah. So then again, the big thing to note here is the fact that he has Prankster Parting Shot. This set is the one that I've been running on our team. Is so as you can see, we have some dashes here because we always want to give people options, right?
Right.
The one that I've been using in particular lately in the, I guess we'll just call it the Sap Sipper build, in the Sap Sipper team, is Parting Shot, Scary Face, Fake Out, and Spirit Break.
Yeah, and this is all about shredding, like shredding defenses, shredding offenses, shredding speed. Like
a Fake Out flinch in VGC is really, really powerful, but it could also be used in 3v3. Fake Out's great in 3v3 too.
Yeah, the Fake Out in VGC is just so important because it opens up the door for your partner to pick up a KO, or it forces a protect on a certain Pokemon. So then you kind of, just the pressure of that Fake Out could force a protect, and then you could double into the other Pokemon there. So Fake Out, incredible pressure from a pretty oppressive Pokemon, to be perfectly honest.
And then he also has Prankster Speed Control.
Yes, we got the Scary Face. So the nice thing about Scary Face, it doesn't miss. It lowers speed by 2 stages, the opposing Pokemon that you hit.
Yep.
But they can switch out of it. Now
they can switch out.
If you,
and then it just goes away. But it does apply a lot of pressure, similar to Yawn, where it's like if they switch out, then that could potentially be a tempo gain for us, right? Regardless.
Yeah, and then the other option is T-Wave. Now this one you can't hit electric types, and it can miss. However, that speed cut is for the rest of the game, and you have the possibility of getting some hacks in your favor of full paralysis turn. So you really just got to weigh your options.
No electric types and no ground types.
Ground type, yep. Good shout. So like it's really just about weighing out your options. What risk do you want to take?
Exactly. Like for a team like mine with the Sap Sipper, I've got 2 different grass type Pokemon, and then Goodra also has Power Whip, so I'm not worried about ground types.
Right.
So it's also grassy terrain, so the ground type moves are shredded, Earthquake and stuff. So or even Bulldoze or whatever, like they do less damage. So in that particular team, I like the Scary Face because ground types aren't a threat.
Yeah.
But like Brandon said, results may vary. Brandon's favorite is the T-Wave.
Right, yeah. You and I both run it different ways, and we've both just gotten like different results, you know.
It's how you build your team. But that's the beautiful part about this Pokemon. He's so versatile, isn't he, bro?
Yeah.
Speaking of versatile, let's talk about this last set because, you know, both of these have been support sets, but this Mon, no joke, he's got 120 attack, and we talked about that. And he also has Frisk, and we haven't shown that off yet. So let's talk about this third set, brother.
Yeah, let's talk about it. So we've got a more offensive set here. I really love the Assault Vest version of this, but if you want more immediate damage, you can go with a Life Orb. Yep. We've got Prankster up here. However, we need to mention Frisk because if you run a set with Bulk Up, you want to take off the Assault Vest, put on the Life Orb, and run Prankster. If you run this Assault Vest set,
or Parting Shot.
Or Parting Shot, great shout.
If he's going to run Prankster, Parting Shot is always an option.
If you want to run this Assault Vest version, you want to run Frisk, which reveals opponent's items. So that'll give you the jump on a lot of Pokemon, especially if you come in
if somebody has a Focus Sash.
A Focus Sash or a Choice Scarf Goldango, for example.
Choice Scarf Goldango, you can see whether, you know, what speed tier you're at. You can, yeah, that's a really good shout. Like Frisk is actually really, really good,
especially in singles. I think it's singles. It's kind of
yeah, because there's a lot more gotchas.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's a great shout. I think this and so we've done some calculate, but let's talk about the moves real quick, and we'll talk about kind of what we're working with because he's Dark Terra. We talked about that a little bit before. So with the support sets, you're probably usually never going to be Terra your Grimmsnarl, whether it's in 3v3s or VGC. Like most of the time, that's probably not your game plan.
Right.
But the reason that you would is because I would say most of the time when people are trying to hit him super effective, they're going to be hitting him with steel or poison type moves to be trying to hit him super effective on his fairy typing.
Yes.
This is just anecdotal. This is just based on us playing the game a bunch. Things could change. It might vary for you. It just depends on how the meta evolves. But by pranks so not only that, you get rid of the fairy typing defensively, so you don't have to worry about those weaknesses, which actually does matter in the calculations quite a bit. You're also maintaining that dark type, which means you still cannot be prankster anything.
Exactly. As far as elemental punches go, it really just depends on what your team needs. Like, you need something that's going to hit Corviknight, then probably Fire Punch. But if you want Corviknight and Toxapex, then Thunder Punch. Like, there's a lot of different options and variables. Like, if you,
he does get all three.
He does. So you kind of just pick your poison there.
So with going Dark Terra in this set specifically, this gives us something else that we haven't talked about today. And that's the fact that this boy with a 120 base attack, max adamant, stab, and Dark Terra double dip Sucker Punch.
Yes. And
wow, do we have some calculations for you guys.
All right, guys, let me rattle these off here. So for the AV set, if you want to take 40 points out of your attack, so run 212 attack and then 40 special defense, Naive Mixed Attacking Iron Valiant Moonblast, it does 60 to 72% to the AV set. Our Spirit Break does 93 to 112 in return. That's
and hypothetically we low roll it and don't get the KO. Can Sucker Punch cover the deficit?
Yes, Sucker Punch is a minimum 10%.
Beautiful. Minimum. So even if we low roll that, we still pick up the KO regardless because they only have 7 left. So yeah, that's really, really good right there. So because Iron Valiant's strong.
If you run Life Orb, they can, it's like a 50-50 that they KO you. However, you will KO them in return with Spirit Break.
And this is if they're using their physical side instead of special with Spirit Break.
Yep. And all of this in mind, 212 attack. All right. Next thing we're going to talk about is Timid Goldango. Timid Goldango, Make It Rain. It maxes out at 90% if you put that extra 40 into the special defense if you're running the AV set. If you go Dark Terra, Make It Rain only does 41 to 49%.
Because you're getting rid of that fairy typing like I talked about, which is so huge, right? Like 49%, like that is such a big drop.
It is. And then if you go either Terra Dark or you run the Life Orb, it doesn't matter which one. You pick up the one hit.
You have to have some sort of a buff.
Yep, you pick up the one hit KO on the 252 variant of Goldango.
The squishy one.
Yes.
Yeah, if they're running Glass Cannon build Goldango, you're going to one-shot.
And then the last calculation before we get out of here, Iron Moth Sludge Wave, after we Terra Dark and we have the AV set, we're running they are hitting us for 44 to 52% with Sludge Wave. Our Sucker Punch does 87 to 103. It's a one-hit KO if you have Life Orb plus Terra Dark Sucker Punch. Instant
but if not, it's priority, so we'll still it'll be a 2-shot, but we're priority, so we won't take that second hit in the trade.
And one thing to note, Stealth Rock calculating into this, you pick up the one-hit KO with Sucker Punch every single time. Doesn't matter what kind of
AV or Life Orb, right?
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter even if you Terra Dark, or you still have to be Terra Dark?
You can be unterra'd and no Life Orb, and you'll still pick it up.
Adamant Sucker Punch.
Yep, after that Stealth Rock damage.
Let's go. That's big. So, like, those are 3 of the biggest threats in the meta right now, both in 3v3 and VGC. And the PMC, shout out to all the crew members. Dougie's been on Showdown. Mike's been playing. Everyone's been testing stuff out. And we have been, obviously, Zero and myself as well. We have been seeing Goldango, Iron Moth, and Iron Valiant everywhere. So, so far, so good with these calculations. And this isn't even like your feature. Yes, it's for a lot of these we were Dark Terra-ing, but he's offensive. But the fact of the matter is he's not like some huge setup. It's literally just be here, have this item, and click Terra. That's it. And then none of that requires a lot of thought or setup.
Yeah, I really like this set, man. Thank you for bringing this one to the table. This was your creation, and I just added some calculations to it. I think it was a fun one.
Yeah, so basically this came out of Dynamax format from Gen 8. We had one for the channel that was max HP, max attack, basically for Dynamax, and using Gigantamax, his Gigantamax form with max G-Max snooze.
Yeah.
So we basically wanted to figure out, hey, we have this mon made already. Can we use anything still that's offensive? And the double dipped, the power of having stab plus Dark Terra Sucker Punch is so good. It's he's actually one of the best Sucker Punch users in the game.
Yeah, he is.
In terms of his raw stat power. So yeah.
All right, guys. We hope you enjoyed. I love GRIMMSNARL. I hope VGC players are probably mad that we even made this guide, but everybody else, we hope you enjoyed, because I'm a GRIMMSNARL stan. Justin, I know you kind of like him because I like him.
He's just so useful from a tactical perspective. He fits every squad. Every time, he could be, he doesn't have to be, but he could absolutely basically be like 100% inclusion to any team everywhere.
I agree.
So for somebody like me, it's just the utility that he brings.
All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed this one. We will catch you on the next one. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. Until then, I've been Zero.
And I'm Justin.
Council's adjourned.